So what we're going to talk about now is the city coming up with this number claiming that there are, according to their statistics, just under 7,000 homeless people. Currently, they didn't call them homeless, they called them unhoused people. Does that sound better? I mean, I appreciate the political correctness of calling them unhoused, but I don't think if you called them homeless, it would hurt their feelings. So why are we doing that? Number one, City of Las Vegas. Number two, if you call them, and I'm speaking of the City of Las Vegas, if you call them, or anyone else who uses that terminology, if you call them unhoused people, what you're actually doing by trying to be so frickin' politically correct, you're watering down the gravity of the situation. It makes it sound nice. It makes it sound oh so inconvenient. Oh, this poor individual is an unhoused person. No, call them homeless because they are homeless. People need to hear the word homeless. They need a home and we're supposed to be helping them. If you call them unhoused, it sounds gentle. It's, whose feelings are going to be hurt? Number one. Number two, call it what it is. That way attention is drawn to the situation. These people are homeless. Yes, they are unhoused. They are unhomed. They're living on the street. So let's not water it down with flowery words, all the powers that be and all you keyboard warriors and butthurt individuals. Is your butt hurt by saying that? No. Is their butt hurt by calling them homeless? No. They know they're homeless. They don't need your, virtue signaling. They need your help. But I digress. So they say there's about 7,000 in this town. How did they come up with that number? They said that they went around within the community with statistics and they took a census and all this other. And they also did honestly say that homelessness, unhousedness, homelessness, let's call it what it is at an all-time high here in Las Vegas, which is rather disappointing. So homelessness at an all-time high, they claim just under 7,000. I'm tempted to call bullshit on that, but I'm not out there with a clipboard counting. You cannot tell me they went into all the tunnels, they went into all the woods, they went into all the places that there are homeless people out there. So I don't know where they came up with their number. I'd be tempted to double it, perhaps, and call it 14,000, 15,000, 10,000, but 7,000 is an absolutely staggering number of people that don't have a home. Now, bear in mind that there are some people out there here in Las Vegas who are homeless, I wouldn't say by choice, but they're not looking to correct the situation. They're out there, they find that life, they've chosen that life over being a member of quote unquote society. So there's a certain portion that don't want the help per se. They'll take a few bucks from you. They'll take a six pack. They'll take, they'll take help, but they're not looking for help to get out of the situation. Some people are on the lam. Some people are on the run. Some people dwell in that lifestyle. And some people actually, believe it or not, enjoy that lifestyle. That's a weird statement to make, but there's some people who say, I'm happier being on the street, no boss, no one telling me what to do. Yes, it's inconvenient. Yes, it's unhealthy. Yes, it's dangerous, but I'm choosing this over being a member of society. So maybe we'll take 5 or 10% who fall into that category. People who don't want to be found, stuff like that. But that's a tremendous amount of people. No plan as to how this town plans on helping them. They produced a number, said it's at an all-time high, and went on to the next thing and scratched their ass a little bit. What is the town going to do about it? The reason why I'm bringing this up is, and I do, a lot of you do know, have experience with the homeless people in town here, because I've endeavored in my own way and through the help of a lot of you out there to help some of these people. I've distributed goods, food, money in the form of gift cards from McDonald's and places like that, water, and whatever I can do. And people have sent me all sorts of stuff over the past couple of years, which I continue to give out. I used to do it regularly on the Strip. Not so much lately, because the people who are on the Strip right now, the homeless, are rather erratic, and I don't prefer to approach them. So I've been taking it sort of off Strip to the people who still are receptive to being approached. So the people over there, and that's because the city has swept the corridor and told the homeless people that they do have to go elsewhere. So the ones who are cognizant of what's going on have moved and found different places to be, though they come and go in the Strip. They're not vagrant on the Strip. They don't want to be trespassed. So who does that leave? The ones who are less inclined to obey the law, more mentally unstable. So that's why I haven't been approaching people on the Strip. I used to even do it live, but haven't done that in a while, and that's the reason why. The problem that I have is this town doesn't have a plan to help. However, this town also is booming. It's absolutely booming. It's been close to 2 years, not just the town, in the state. The state is absolutely booming right now. Over $1 billion just in gaming revenue every single month. Over $1 billion just in gaming, slot machines, video poker, table games, sports betting, over $1 billion a month. It's been going like that for years, ever since the town reopened again. What else is not being talked about? How much money is being made on the Strip in terms of tax revenue? And you see all the fees you guys are paying on your rooms, the room rates themselves. This town doesn't have enough mattresses to stuff all this money under. They're making money hand over fist like never before. There's never been a period of time in Las Vegas history where the town has been this bountiful. Now, people say that, there was other times adjusted for inflation that might have been better. But right now, dollar for dollar, this town is making a freaking mint. And it's never been more greedy. And we discussed that last night. There's just so much money pouring into this town from all you fine folks and from all over. So the city itself could step up and develop a strategy for helping these quote unquote 7,000 unhoused people. However, let's talk about F1. Now, F1 has come to town like a freaking tornado, wrecked our traffic, wrecked our infrastructure, is taking money from the town at an unprecedented level. You think they came to town, it's going to bring $1 billion into the town. This town's going to be into the hole for about $700 million. They're going to invest half of that money up front to make sure this goes well, to see if the town makes money and inconvenience all the locals. That's not the biggest problem I have, even though it's making life around the Strip rather untenable. Right now, they are looking for, 1, volunteers. 2, they're looking to employ people to help with said race. And we're going to get to the Super Bowl in a minute. They're looking for people to employ temporarily to help with crowd control, with garbage, with cleanup, with, it's basically menial. It's not computer jobs. It's basically dustpans and brooms and everything. This organization, F1, they're taking money from this town don't you think they can help the situation as well? Because I think they could on so many levels, if not direct contributions, because, hey, we're bringing $1 billion into town. What about all these jobs? You're telling me that they could not single-handedly solve the homeless crisis? Well, again, let's go back to some people do not want help. Some people are not in a position where they can accept help until they get clean and possibly healthy. But that still leaves a large portion of people who are living on the street that would work, that would take one of these jobs at F1. What would that take to do? You say, well, they're dirty, they don't have IDs, they don't have this, that could all be fixed. That could all be fixed because it's a $1 billion thing here. Get everyone an ID, big freaking deal. Most of the people who are currently on the street right now are recent. They have their IDs. Don't worry about it. Shower, shave. How about we buy jumpsuits? Oh, well, how are they going to dress? What's the impression that they're going to have? Number one, they're not going to be that in the public eye. Number two, a jumpsuit. Now, I could hear someone out there saying, hey, Bror Fredrik, that's, kind of, what is that? They're going to be slaves? They're going to be this? You're going to put them in jumpsuits? What is this, Chinese, Communist Party levels? No. Stop. Just freaking stop. Stop worrying about how they feel. Don't project your shit on those people. They're okay if you put on a jumpsuit. Make it beautiful. Put Ferrari on the back. Put freaking patches all over of all the sponsors on it. Who cares? Clean up and pay them. And pay them the same money that they would pay someone else. And they could, if they're taking money from this town, they should help this town. Yes, that brings up another interesting point. This town has the highest unemployment in the nation right now. The highest unemployment in the nation right now. So yes, that's a problem. So someone out there is probably saying, well, there's other people who are at risk of losing their apartments they could use that job for 2 weeks, for 1 week, for 18 hours, really? So they should take precedence off of possibly changing someone's life, giving them meaning, convincing them maybe there's a little hope that they don't have to live under a bridge, that they don't have to sleep next to a garbage can, they don't have to eat from a dumpster, that life is good when you have more than one pair of socks. F1 could do that. F1 can single-handedly do that if they chose to. They're taking from the city. They should help the city. But they have this posture of we're here to help you, And then, I got to call out the locals, too, because the locals have been pissing me the F off about this with the whole mantra of, well, it's good for the local economy. Cool. That's freaking Kool-Aid. Every time I hear that, I'm like, you're drinking Kool-Aid because how's it helping you? Okay, how's it helping me? How is F1 helping me? Oh, well, you have a nicer road to drive on now. Oh, yeah, I really needed that in my life. I was praying, oh, God, please make Decatur better to drive on. I do, but whatever. Am I making any money from it? No. Will my neighbor make any money from F1? No. Will his neighbor? Will the guy down the block? Will the guy I see at Walmart? Will the checkout lady at the dollar store? Nobody's seeing any of this, unquote, good for the local economy money. The only people who are seeing this money are the people who are already making money. They're just going to make more of it. So this whole posturing of so good for the local economy, because in the grand scheme of things, we're gonna if we bolster the town, everyone's just gonna do better as a local here in Las Vegas. Bullshit. I call bullshit on that city of Las Vegas, too. You know why? We got the highest unemployment rate going, number one. Number two, this town refuses to pay living wages. Absolutely refuses to pay people living wages. So then they say, oh, well, we got 9% unemployment because people are not finding when your house is about to be foreclosed on and, MGM wants to offer you a job for $13 an hour. What are you going to do with that? Retail jobs in this town pay ass. The casinos, for all intents and purposes, for the lower end jobs, pay horrible. So how about the town with all the money? They can sit there and brag, we're making billions of dollars, and this is $1 billion, and that's $1 billion, there's another $1 billion over here, we're going to build over there, $1 billion here, $1 billion there, $1 billion everywhere, $1 billion. But they won't frickin' pay people living wage. You'd be shocked when you come here and find out how much people are getting paid to do stuff. It was okay a few years ago when you can get a 1-bedroom apartment, and this is like just pre-pandemic, for $800, $900 for a 1-bedroom in a nice area. Now, same apartment, 17 or 18. It is literally doubled. We were hit with the largest inflationary increases, the largest housing increases, the largest insurance increases, the largest food increases, probably in the nation. I haven't seen any stats on it, but I could feel it. I'm paying now to eat approximately $400 to $600 a month. A month. That's not eating out. I'm talking about what goes in my refrigerator. Freaking gallon of milk here in Las Vegas is $7. It is nuts over here. Everything is raised. I mean, my HOA doubled. People's rent doubled when they were down and out on the ground. The town was shut down. They were telling everyone to hide under their beds, and then they doubled the rent. So this town refused to pay a living wage. So the wages have not caught up. The average wage in this town, I would say, should be $25 to $35 an hour to get anyone to do anything and pay their bills. That's what this town would need to pay. That's what any town technically needs to pay. But with the cost of living here in Las Vegas, they should be paying people, I would say, $30 an hour as a living wage. Does this town pay people $30 an hour? Not really. Not really. Not for the people that, you're walking by on the strip. Not for the people who are emptying the ashtrays. Not for the people who are making up the rooms, and they bust their ass and have to clean 21 rooms. And you wonder why there's pubes on your toilet for $16 an hour. This town doesn't want to pay. So obviously it's not going to fix the homeless problem too. But the town is making money absolutely hand over fist right now. So these people with this thing about so good for the local economy have to get off their high horse. It's easy to say so good for the local economy when you're doing well. I have not heard a person who's having a problem paying their bills talking about how good it is for the local economy. It's good for the people who are already making money. Will a cocktail waitress make more during F1? Let's dissect this a little bit. Will a cocktail waitress make more money, and I'm just going to use one as an example, during F1? What do you think? No. Why? Because she can only serve so many drinks. She can only serve the amount of drinks that she's currently serving when F1 comes to town. Perhaps it'll be more steady. Maybe. Perhaps they might give her more hours. Unlikely. Because this town does not like paying overtime. You talk to anyone, they have everyone capped at like 39.8 hours. Just in case you clock out 2 or 3 minutes late so you don't pay overtime. This town hates paying overtime. That's another thing that, I should illustrate. So they might just bring in someone else. That's what they'll do. Will people tip more because it's F1? No. No, because the millionaires and billionaires who are coming in to watch all this stuff and the owners of all these vehicles and race teams, they're not going to be sitting at the frickin' Buffalo machine. Instead of me giving them $5 for coffee, they're going to give $100. It's not going to happen. So this whole thing, so good for the local economy, is just it's a smokescreen. It's a mantra that has been driven into the mentality of the people, and everyone's waiting for that rain. For years, we've been waiting for that rain to come. So good for the local economy. Allegiant Stadium. How many of the local people made money off Beyonce's concert the other night? Same people who are making money the whole time. Oh, but more people are employed over there. Are there? Are there? No, this town makes people do the job of 2 people. That's why our unemployment's like freaking 9%. So this whole fix, it's so good for the local economy. We're just waiting for that to happen. We're waiting for it to trickle on. Now, I do believe in trickle-down economics. This town, unfortunately, does not. They believe in like sticking it in their pockets and making sure there's no holes in them so it trickles down. So yeah, the people who are making money are making money. So, can the problem be solved? Yes. Can F1 take a stand and say, listen, we want to help you. We are taking your citizens' money so we could throw a 3-day frickin' event that technically doesn't matter. I love F1, used to love F1, no, not so much. I mean, it's frivolous. It is so unessential to life in general. F1, it's like polo ponies. It's like up in that league. Like the world will not miss F1. For all intents and purposes, it's a rich person's hobby, even though I'm into it too. It's a multi-billion-dollar industry that the average person just, isn't connected to the way they are to NASCAR and all the other stuff. You think they'd help? You think they have? No, if they do not help, and I'm going to call out F1, F for you, F1. If you don't help the local people get on their feet by bringing all this chaos to town and all this money you're supposed to bring to town, shame on you. Shame on you for taking our money and not helping the very citizens who live here. Shame on you. So I want to see what they do if they step up. I haven't seen it yet. Oh, we're going to give... First, they were see, this is how ballsy. It wasn't until they got called out. The first call for help for the F1 race was volunteers. They had the cojones to ask for a few thousand volunteers to help us. And their asses got tore up, because we hear that in town here all the time. Everyone's volunteers. Hey, you want to volunteer for this festival? You want to volunteer for this game? You want to volunteer for this golf tournament? You want to volunteer to help us clean this lot? Whatever the case may be. We've had it up to here. Even these freaking casinos. Hey, we were taking volunteers to give us your artwork to decorate our $1 billion property. F you. So this town is finally starting to put their foot down and push back on this. Yeah, there's some people who are like, who cares? I'll go do it. Something to do. Maybe they'll give me a cheeseburger. But now people are like, Fangul, we ain't doing that. Thankfully. So let's have a little solidarity there. It wasn't until the pushback that they said, no, wait. We'll pay you. So they're going to pay like freaking $10 an hour, $12 an hour. They'll pay as little as they possibly can. But we're, big bad F1 with billions of dollars behind us. But we won't help your town. So F1 is going to step over all the people in the town to accomplish their goal for the next 10 years and continue to take money out of the town because they're taking taxpayers' money. And let's get back to the town for a second. The city. Let's take F1 out of the equation for a second. We need help in this town. We need our streets cleaned. We need waste management situations. We need our parks cleaned. We need outdoor labor. That's all paid for. People are making money off that. Parks department, they could set up a program the same way I'm suggesting F1 can. I'm talking to you now, city, and let these people contribute to their community for pay. And I hear someone out there, one of you knuckleheads or 10 of you knuckleheads, or maybe none. I'm gonna have faith in my audience and say no one's saying it, but hey, that's like being a slave, and you're just gonna blah, 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 put them to work, and then and they gotta what? They got, instead of being homeless, they're gonna have to sweep the streets, blah blah. No, it's called a job. It's called a job. Do I have to explain this? Oh my goodness. Anyway, give them jobs. They can give people jobs. They can qualify them. They can put people to work, get them off the street. Because I guarantee you, if they're going to complain about, well, we already have 10% unemployment, so why should we give it to the... Part of that 10% is I see the stages of homelessness in this town very visceral and very up close in my face. Stage 1 is walking down the street with suitcases. All the belongings, they actually have suitcases, some bags with the rolling bags. They had nice shit at one time. I see the suitcases. They had wheels on them, like they were going to, when they went to Disney a couple years ago. They got their stuff packed in there. They're wheeling. They're like, oh my God, this is a new experience. Where am I going to go? They find some place. And then you could see the progression. Then they realize that they cannot drag their belongings everywhere. And they get down to what they need to survive. But they still have hope. You can tell that if you offered them a job or a decent opportunity, they would take it. They would take it. They're in stage 2. And then stage 3 is when the life grabs them. When they become, I hate to use this word, but feral. And you talk to a lot of homeless people, they don't start heavily drinking or doing drugs until they were homeless. We were all taught, and I was taught, that homelessness, you go homeless by doing drugs and drinking and all the rest of that. I've seen it. I don't say no, but at the same time, you ask most of them, they were just like, I started this shit once I got on the street. Prior to this, I worked at the public library. I had a job. I was a car salesman. I was this, I was that, and then just couldn't pay my bills. They say now, I'm going to do another video on this. It takes 53 or 54 weeks of income to pay for a year's bills. Hold on. It's only 52 weeks in a year. But it takes 53 to 54 to pay for the year. Kind of an odd thing, right? Anyway, I digress. So the town could give these people jobs. A lot of people would take them, and they can keep our streets clean. That's one of my pet peeves. This town is getting dirty. It is straight up getting dirty. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole, but it doesn't rain. It does not rain here. So things get dirty. Everything gets dirty because it's dusty. There's millions of people just If you had 100,000 people walking through your house, it would be dirty. If they came in your front door and left out your back door, your house would be dirty, and you'd be hard pressed to maintain it and to keep it clean. That's what's good. That's what this town is. Even in the local areas, it's hard pressed to keep it clean. And if you had no running water in your house, which is the equivalent of rain, this town needs help maintaining cleanliness. We could put people out there and help them and give them employment. And instead of building like they're about to build in Henderson, they're going to build a 1 billion condominium project in Henderson. Isn't that wonderful? That's glorious that a town could build $1 billion apartment complex. I mean, a condominium complex. Kudos to them. How about some low-income housing? How about some affordable housing to put people in? How about a complex? I'm not talking about, like Starrett City. I'm not talking about making projects like, areas I grew up in, but they could help. If they can build $1 billion frickin' condominium project where they're going to start at like $2 and $3 million a unit, will they help? Will they say, you know what? We'll give them work that can help us, level land. We can give them the menial tasks that we would otherwise pay others. Oh, the union would have a problem with that. God forbid. Or, you know what? Down the block on that other piece of property we bought that the town gave us a great deal on and we don't have to pay tax for the next fucking 10 years. We're going to build some affordable apartments to offset what we're doing. We're building $1 billion for multimillionaires, but because we're good people, we're going to build this unit over here to house 1,000 families. Is that crickets I hear? How preposterous. How preposterous as a society that we do dumb shit like this. How freaking preposterous that we step over the people who, we can't even look them in the eye. Because then, you know what? If we look them in the eye, if these people looked them in the eye, they'd be guilty. They would know it. How do you, in good conscience and good faith, as a human being, share a planet, build $1 billion complex for the wealthiest percentage of people? And I'm not knocking it. If I could afford it, I'd move in there tomorrow. I'm not hating on them. But how do you do that and sleep at night when you have to hire security to keep those people away from your complex? The A's are coming to town. Are they doing anything? Oh, well, wait. Look, slow down. The A's donated, I think, $10,000 already. They're already at it. They doled out $10,000 to help our Little League team go to the World Series. That's great. It's better than nothing. And a lot of people say, well, it's better than nothing. They could have, just spat in their faces. That's great. You're really part of the community now. You're really part of the community. $10,000. I could give them $10,000 if I wanted to. I just can't afford to. They can. $10,000? That's their budget for like eating out for a weekend or a day. That's nothing. Now they're part of the community. Look how they're helping. Look how they're helping the youth. Oh, just them? I see kids. I see homeless kids. You could be helping. I see families living in cars. You could be helping. $10,000. All right. Cool. But don't talk about how you're now a member of the community and the freaking news channels and this. They kiss so much ass. These news channels. Oh my God, the A's are just such a part of our community now. Shut up. Shut up. Talking to all you news stations out there, just shut the F up. Kissing their ass. Call like it is. Say though, say what I'm saying. That's very nice. But what about the children in this town who can't afford to eat? As you build a $2 billion stadium. So a billionaire is borrowing money from this town. And this town is just like, take our money, take our money, take our money, take our money. It's so good for the local economy. Bullshit. What are they doing? They have no plans to help nothing. I think the A's said that they certain people can use it for certain cultural events. They say, when we're not using our shit, you can host some cultural events. You know, that'll keep that'll keep the natives calm. You know? What the really? That'll keep those people calm. Let them do some country music once in a while. Let them do a rap concert. Let them do a freaking luau once in a while. Keep the natives quiet. That's what they said. And granted, there will be jobs based on that, but they're not new jobs. Maybe they're bringing more union workers into town for 60, 70, 80 bucks an hour to build that thing. That's what most likely happen. The people who are already making money are going to make money, more money. Oh, they're training? Are they training people to work there? What are the A's going to do for us? Just another organization coming to town to take and to use and to squat. It's like they're squatting. They're just going to squat. That's what they're doing. They're just squatting in the house that is Las Vegas. Taking, plugging into the neighbor's electric, saying F you to the people. How could they, in good conscience, they're going to come here and just, what? They should set up showers and employment centers and mental health clinics and psychiatrists and therapists to fix the problem. They could afford it. No, they need my money. They need my money for something I'll never go to. They took my taxes to build Allegiant Stadium. And yours. And most of you can't even afford to go there. Isn't that a kick in the balls? The most expensive place for like a family of 4 to go enjoy an NFL game. The most expensive in the United States. So take our taxes. Why don't we have like an appreciation day when we could all go in there and have freaking water balloon fights and see what we actually paid for with our money. I don't even watch football, Ain't that a kind of kick in the ass? But yeah, my money and your money help pay for that thing, and half of you can never afford to go in it. Think about that. So yes, we do have a homeless problem. It's pretty bad. You've seen it. You've seen it with me. This town could fix it. Allegiant had their opportunity to fix it. Bafangul. The A's has their opportunity. Can't call them on it quite yet because we haven't seen it. Hasn't started. F1 has the opportunity to help the problem. Bafangul, the city, Bafangul, everyone Bafangul. Just if you ignore it, it goes away. If you ignore it, it goes. Put up some more neon. The more neon you put up, the less you're going to see those inconvenient truths. They're human beings. They're somebody's son, daughter, brother, father, wife. That's the one that freaking kills me. A society that allows its women to be on the street. It's despicable. It's freaking devilish. We can do better. And I'm calling you all out on it. Not you specifically, but I know people watch. I hear it. I know. Calling these all out. And think. And stop calling them unhoused. You're diluting their problem. You're turning a serious life or death crisis of our brothers and sisters into a freaking Disney quotation. Shame on you. But we can fix it. Unfortunately, it's probably going to have to be grassroots. And that's what I have to say about that. Yeah. Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.